Hey y'all, welcome back to Simply Vanetta Cooks. Y'all, look, I want to share with you a delicious copycat Jimmy John's hoagie recipe with y'all, the bread. Now, this recipe depends on how you shape it. You end up with a beautiful bagel, or I'm sorry, baguette or a hoagie. Okay, you can make it as short as long as you'd like. So y'all, look, I'm gonna do a step by step. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, y'all, so quickly, we're going to go ahead and activate our yeast. You're going to do 1.5 cups of warm water, not to go over 110, 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and then your 1 tablespoon of your active dry yeast. You're going to let that foam. While that's foaming, we're going to mix 3.5 cups of our flour and also two teaspoons of salt. We're going to also take 1 cup of flour and we're going to add to it some olive oil or neutral tasting oil, about 1/4 cup. We're going to mix it up until it becomes that crumble right there, and we're going to mix that over into our flour that we had the salt added to. Okay, then we're going to mix it all up until it's combined. Okay, y'all, so a quick recap. Okay, so we're activating our yeast. It's going to foam up, y'all. That's the 1.5 cups of warm water and your 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. So just let it sit and start its foaming. Then you're going to take 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. You're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. Then you're going to take 1 cup of all-purpose flour and add 1/4 cup of oil. Mix that up till it's crumble, and that's where it brought us to mixing it with the flour. Next, did y'all just see what I did? I added the yeast mixture to that mixture. Okay, then you're gonna go in. Y'all make sure them hands and nails are clean. Okay, gloves just don't work sometimes for me when you're dealing with dough because it gets a little sticky. But then you're going to start to work your dough. You're going to start to knead it. You're going to knead it for probably 8 to 10 minutes. You're just going to knead it. Just knead it so you can make sure everything is, there's not too many cracks. And you can also tell a little trick. You can take a piece of your dough and stretch it, like hold it up to light and stretch it. And as it pulls, if light shines through, then you've kneaded it enough. Okay, y'all, so after we've kneaded it, we're going to get us a clean bowl. We're going to put some, a little oil in it. Make sure it's oiled on the sides. And then we're going to put our ball of dough inside of here so that we can get ready for it to rise. Now, when I put my dough in the bowl, I like to do what you just saw me do. I like to kind of like roll it around in that lightly coated bowl so that oil is around the dough. That is a damp cloth, folks, a clean kitchen towel, and it's damp. I covered it and I allowed it to rise for an hour until it's double in size. Look at that. Look at that. That's double the size. Y'all, I love working with dough. It is just a beautiful thing. If you've never made your own dough, you got to start. Y'all, so after the hour, we need to go in and knock it down gently so we can get that little extra air out of it. So once we do that, we're going to lightly flour our clean cooking space. We're going to lightly flour it, and then we're going to roll our dough out onto that space. Now, y'all may wonder, why does my ball look so big? Well, let me tell you, I double recipes a lot. So this is actually double from what I just gave you instructions on. So I'll tell you in a minute what I'm planning on doing. So look, we're going to cut that round bowl into a half, like y'all just seen me do. You're going to cut it into about 6 even pieces. Then you're going to roll it out into the size baguettes that you like. Now, if you don't want 12 equal pieces, you can do 2, or you could do less than that. You can end up having like 6 large hoagie rolls. It's up to you. But see, this is what I was going to show you. The reason I double... let me go back. So y'all saw that I oiled a sheet pan, and the ones that we just rolled out, we put on that baking sheet. So we're going to end up letting it rise for another 20 minutes or so. But in the meantime, what you're seeing right now is the reason why I doubled the recipe. I have a little, this is a little sealer. I love that thing, y'all. It didn't cost that much. I love that little thing. I use it so much. So what we're going to do, I cut up some pieces of parchment paper. Parchment paper is easier to use. It's best to use over wax paper because it's less likely to hold moisture whenever you're trying to divide, say, meats, breads, etc., when you're going to put in the freezer. So that other half of the double batch of bread, I'm bagging me some up to put in the freezer. Yep, I love doing that. So now when we have, a hankering for some subs, we can just go pull some out the freezer. And I'm going to also write the instructions on the bag because, I don't want anybody to be left in the dark. If I send my husband or one of the kids to go grab it, I want them to be able to follow the instructions. So you look, ain't that beautiful? And so it's divided by that parchment paper. Parchment paper, again, is better to use when you're freezing, y'all. Freezing things to divide it because it is less likely to hold moisture. And look, all I'm doing is just putting that little divider in there, and that whole extra batch of bread is going to go in the freezer. Oh gosh, I love it. I love to have things like this prepared because, if you're doing it, my theory is if you're doing it, you might as well just do it. I mean, it was nothing just to double the ingredients and just, be able to pack it away. So that's what I'm doing here, y'all. I'm doing that while the other batch is rising.
어느 날 그대와 함께한 시간들 햇살 속에 반짝이는 그대의 미소 눈을 감아도 떠오르는 그 순간 우리의 발자국은 영원히 남아 달콤한 추억 그대와 나 시간이 멈춘 듯한 그날들 그리움 속에 피어나는 사랑 우리의 마음속에 영원히 남아 여름밤 햇빛 아래 속삭임 함께 어느 날 그대와 함께한 시간들 햇살 속에 반짝이는 그대의 미소 눈을 감아도 떠오르는 그 순간 우리의 발자국은 영원히 남아 달콤한 추억 그대와 나 시간이 멈춘 듯한 그날들 그리움 속에 피어나는 사랑.
Okay, y'all. So at this point, we're all detailed out and we're headed to the freezer. Y'all, here are the rolls that we are going to cook now. They have risen. They're going into the oven. And voila, here we go. Enjoy. Bon appetit.